live stream, 21-day live stream challenge, and welcome back to day 3 of your daily dose of vitamin D3. I'm here to offer you some wellness wisdom today on this beautiful Wednesday. And if you thought for a moment, and if you think that the term wealth is only related to or simply means that it's all about money, then that's what we're going to be talking about today, because I want to challenge you to rethink that as we explore actually how your health is your real wealth, and how you and your body and your temple, which is your body, okay, mind, body, and soul, how you are your actual asset. Okay, so let's talk about it. I just came from my walk, and I'm actually wearing one of my, I went last year to the Heart Walk in San Diego, California, and I'm in SoCal now. It's beautiful out here, as you can see. And so I just had to come on here and share and talk about it. And this is a good opportunity because, you know, one of my themes and one of my content pillars is all about health and wealth and health and wellness and taking a holistic approach. And so this is a great time to talk about how we think about wealth and wealth building. Okay. When we think about wealth building, we really and truly have to take a holistic approach and understand that health really underpins how we generate wealth, how we build wealth, how we manage wealth, how we keep wealth, how we multiply wealth, right? How we create generational wealth, right? And build the legacies, those of us who are legacy leaders. And so, and we can't have one without the other, right? Health underpins how you generate wealth and how you enjoy wealth, because if you don't have good health, you're not going to be around long enough to enjoy the wealth that you do build, right? You may not even live long enough to be able to be in a place to continue to build or generate that wealth or pass it on to your children and your grandchildren, right? And leave that long-lasting, memorable legacy behind, just like you are wanting to do, you know, which is what you're striving for. That's what you're striving to achieve, right? At the end of the day, whether you are a business owner or a content creator, hi there. Thanks for joining and thanks for saying hello. So whether you are a business owner or a content creator, or you are someone who's just trying to, you know, you're trying to build your YouTube channel as a business, or whatever it is your goals are, if you're working a 9 to 5 right now and you're building wealth through, you know, other means, that's perfectly fine. However it is that you're building wealth, generating wealth, this is still applicable to you. Okay. And so we have to talk about how right now in this moment of time, stress and burnout, especially amongst women entrepreneurs, are on the rise. Stress and burnout are on the rise. Okay. As is other chronic illnesses and chronic conditions, such as cardiovascular disease, obesity, musculoskeletal issues, mental health issues such as anxiety and depression. That is a real thing, okay? And so many women are going through this, but you know what? When we really think about it, we can take preventative measures to make sure that we modify our behaviors so that we can change our lifestyle, right? And incorporate new habits, learn new habits, so that we are taking care of our bodies, right? Taking care of our minds, filling up our spirits and our souls. You know, it's all a mind-body connection, right? So the women that I work with, and in case you don't know about me and what it is that I do and who I help, my name is Katrina Marie. I also go by the Boss Chick Biz Coach, and I am your fearless leader. I am a holistic business coach and an RN health and wellness educator. Okay, and I teach successful career women, corporate career women who are wanting to transition out of their corporate careers and start a business, or those who are in between, they've started a business while they're working a job, or those high achieving entrepreneurs who are already full on into their businesses, seasoned entrepreneurs or what have you. And no matter which category you fall in, what you don't want is burnout and stress. What you do want is to prioritize your health, healing, and happiness. And I help you to build an aligned and profitable online brand and business without compromising your health and happiness, or compromising your soul and sanity, or your health and happiness. Okay. And so the ambitious women that I work with, they are high achievers, A-type personalities. They are, over performers, right? High performers. So women like that, from all walks of life, especially Gen Xers, those over 40 like myself, right? Those in their 50s like myself, who are considered the sandwich generation, meaning you're taking care of you're shouldering the responsibilities of your own household, not to mention you're also taking care of aging parents, perhaps, right? Maybe you're the primary caregiver for those parents. Not that they're necessarily ill, but maybe they're going through some things that you need to be there for them as they're aging, right? Especially if other people in their immediate family, a circle of love, have passed away, then you're probably that main go-to person and main supportive caregiver for them. On top of you're working a full-time career, perhaps, right, a demanding role in corporate, and or you're running a full-time business, and you might be also taking care of or supporting adult children who are going through some sort of temporary or permanent crisis, or whatever the case may be. That's where, the sandwich generation comes from, is that you're taking care of your own responsibilities and that of your parents, aging parents, and that of your grown children. And, or even if it's nothing wrong with them and they're not in crisis, meaning your children, they could be in college and you're taking care of them. Whatever the case is, oftentimes that is true for you, right? So if you find yourself in that predicament, what oftentimes happens is that you are taking care of everyone else but yourself. You're putting your own health needs on the back burner, right? You're not taking care of yourself, your mind, your body, and your soul, right? Because everybody else comes first. And by the end of the day, when the day actually ends, you realize you don't have the time, the energy, or the capacity to put forth the effort that is necessary, that is absolutely required for you to be well, to feel well, to improve your health and wellness overall, right? So I want to talk about how you can start learning how to operate from a higher level of awareness when it comes to prioritizing your health, your healing, and your happiness, because you've got to stop playing a part in the decline of your health, okay? And start being more mindful and more involved in your habitual patterns and your rituals, and change your habits and start creating a healthier lifestyle so that you can live longer and be there longer for yourself first and foremost, and for the people you love and those who do depend on you. So I'm going to just offer you some practical tips. Again, this is meant for you to come and get what you came for, get a quick dose. As I always say, some pills are hard to swallow and others are easy. This is going to be maybe a mix of the two for some of you who are, in that boat where I just described, that you're really not doing all that you can to make sure you're taking care of you. Okay, but I want to challenge you to do that, and I'm going to offer you some practical tips on how you can start to incorporate, again, some modifiable behaviors that maybe you're doing some of those things and maybe not so much. Maybe you hadn't even really considered it because you haven't taken the time to consider much of what you need to do more for yourself. Okay, so some of the things I'm going to say are more than likely obvious, because guess what? We really know what to do for the most part, right? Because we live in a nation where, first of all, we have an epidemic of obesity, and we've known that for quite some time. We are in an obese America in Western society because of the foods we eat and the addictions we have. And a lot of us are emotional eaters, right? Especially women, who are emotional creatures out of, that's just naturally who we are. And as a result, depending on what we're going through, we're eating ourselves literally to death. Okay? That's no joke. So the first thing I would say is to incorporate or start to learn and train your brain to learn new habits. For example, As I was taking my walk today, I realized one of the things that I have been doing for some time now is on Wednesday, I just pick one day a week where I do something simple like increase my intake of water. Very simple. A lot of us don't get enough water, right? We don't drink enough. We don't hydrate enough. And by the time we are dehydrated, or by the time we're thirsty, we realize it's because we've been dehydrated for a long time. And it takes a while for our cells to be replenished, especially if we're running ourselves ragged throughout the day with all the busy work. Okay, so make sure that you are taking the time to hydrate yourself, okay, with plenty of water. And if that is just taking one day of the week, for me, that's Wednesday, because I have themed days. And Wednesday for me represents wellness and wealth building. So I take that time to go ahead and, drink more water. And then what I do is, so if you can just start there, okay? The other thing is move more. Many of us have a sedentary lifestyle, right? And it's just by nature of our work, right? If you're at a sedentary job, that's for 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day. You're sitting in your car. You're sitting on, if you take public transportation, if you live in the city, like a metropolitan area, or, if you're taking Uber or Lyft or some other, however it is you're getting transported, that's more sitting. And then you're sitting, to do your business, right? So a good majority of the day, you'll realize that many of us live a sedentary lifestyle without even being aware of it. So you've got to be able to move more, to stand more, to move your body, and to increase physical activity. Hello there, to increase your physical activity. So, if you can't afford, or, right now you can't get a sit stand desk because they can be quite expensive, and so your budget might not be able to afford that right now, you be your own sit and stand desk, so to speak, right? You've just got to be very aware of that you're sitting too long. So what I do is I work in 90-minute blocks. So for example, if whatever time I start my work day, then, which is usually not before 9 o'clock in the morning, then I, work, say, till 10:30, and I make sure that I get up and I stretch and I move around and I make my body move for 10 to 15 or so minutes. If I have to just walk around, my house, or a quick, walk around the neighborhood, go check the mail, go take out the trash, go, I don't know, whatever I got to do to make it happen and get my steps in. Okay, go out to the backyard, go walk through there. But you just got to get up and move. Even if you just got to, be like at your kitchen countertop, or take to a wall and just kind of do some exercises against the wall. Just use your own body weight to do these exercises. You don't need any special equipment to just move your body. You know what I mean? To do some push-ups, to do some sit-ups, to do some leg exercises, to stretch while you're in the chair, like whatever you've got to do, but you've got to get up and move, okay? Because sitting is the new smoking, and it really and truly is taking people out of here. Sitting, it is causing so many issues because it is, we're not getting enough oxygen to our cells, right? We're not getting any oxygen enough in our body. Like we're starting to feel all of these aches and pains in our joints, right? We're stiffening up. We are having these musculoskeletal issues, lower back pains, carpal tunnel, neck pain, shoulder pain, whatever it might be, because we're not moving enough. The other thing is to graze generously throughout the day. What do I mean by that? I mean, instead of eating just 3 full meals a day, okay, which is what we're taught when we're in school, right? There's nothing wrong with that, except a lot of us tend to overeat because we binge eat, because we wait until we're hungry, really hungry, and then we're eating well over the portion that we should be eating on our plate. So if you're not good at portion control, which by the way is another tip I'm going to offer, is portion control, then the way to keep refueling your body and re-energizing your body is to eat more frequent, smaller meals. So 5 to 6 meals a day, but they're small. So you don't have to eat a full meal, but you can eat snacks in between, right? So, and after you've had breakfast, for example, a nice light healthy breakfast, then 3 or so hours later you want to have maybe like a fruit, a piece of fruit. Maybe you want to have a trying to think what I really eat, maybe like a yogurt, right? Or whatever, a smoothie, something to just kind of fill that in between time before the next bigger meal. Then you eat your lunch, and that's a bigger portion, but still you're practicing portion control. Okay. And then in between lunch and dinner, you're eating another small meal. That might be some fruit. It might be, a handful of, omega-3 nuts or whatever kind of nuts you like, but I would highly recommend omega-3 nuts, right? And then you want to make sure that you're replenishing yourself with lots of water in between as well. Not a bunch of sugary drinks, no sodas, no juices that are like concentrated juices, none of that stuff. Okay, that's all crap in a bottle. The other thing I would say is get a heavy dose of sunshine, right? We're talking about vitamin D3, and the way the body produces vitamin D3 is by you getting out in the sunshine. Now, like I explained at day one of this challenge, and when we first started or resumed the daily dose of vitamin D3, those of us who have melanated skin are not going to absorb as much of the rays from the sun that is penetrating our skin, because the melanin, the melanin is the pigment, is what gives our skin color, right? So the darker our skin, the harder it is for the sun rays to penetrate, and we cannot absorb it as well. Therefore, a lot of us are deficient in vitamin D3. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't get out in the sun as often as you can. And here's a mistake that people make as well. Because we do have darker skin, melanated skin, whatever shade of brown you are, it doesn't mean we don't need to wear a sunscreen, right? We still need to wear our sunscreen because we still want to protect our skin from wrinkles, from aging too early, right? From too much sun, because we still can get skin cancer. Trust me, I worked in dermatology years ago for a long time. And during that time, I was surprised to learn how many of us actually, not as many as, our non-melanated counterparts, but we still can and do get skin cancer or other issues with our skin. So don't sleep on the sunscreen, okay? Where, there's sunscreen in makeup, there's sunscreen that you could just buy over the counter. However you got to get it, make sure you apply it because it's really going to be necessary for you. Something else that I do is I take the stairs more often than I take the elevator. Okay, if there's an escalator or an elevator around, I'm taking the stairs first and foremost. Now, because I do have, some issues I have musculoskeletal issues actually. I have chronic low back pain from my bedside nursing days and one too many, work-related injuries. And I suffer from sciatica, and I do have runner's knee, as they call it. I used to run track. I used to run half marathons and all of that when I was younger. And over time, some of us get what's called patellofemoral pain syndrome, but that's just another name for runner's knee. Okay, running too long on hard surfaces like concrete, for example. And so I just want to make sure that, so for me, I can't do a lot of steep inclines, like if I'm walking on a treadmill, for example, or going up a hill, and I can't run on pavement anymore. And that really is hard on the body anyway, because of the impact it has on our bones and joints. Okay. So, but you still can, I say all that to say that some of us may be in that kind of position too, where you've got knee problems. Plus, the older we get some DJD, right? Some degenerative joint disease, just natural part of aging. So if you have any sort of arthritis in your joints or, knee pain or anything like that, then don't hurt yourself trying to go upstairs and that sort of thing. If you absolutely have to take, the elevator, do so. But can you maybe go down the hallway to an elevator further away as opposed to the one right around the corner? Just find ways to get more active. You know what I mean? If you're at work, instead of going, calling up your coworker or calling up your boss or whomever, can you walk to their office and ask the question and have the conversation so that you're getting in more steps? You see, you're making your body move more. You'd be surprised. These little things, these incremental steps are helpful. Okay, your body will thank you for it. Something else that I do that you might want to incorporate is parking far away from the building that you're going to enter, be it a work building, if you're going to the gym, if you're going to, the office, if you have like a brick and mortar, if you're going to a store, park as far away as you can and walk instead of parking close, like by the handicap, parking. Like park far away and walk the distance. Okay. So you see, like, these are just little things that when you think about it, it's like, yeah, you know what? I don't know why I don't do that, but I always park like right here. I practically drive up to the store. If I could drive into the store, I would. No, don't do that. Park far away and walk. Okay. And, get your shopping in and then walk back, obviously, to get to your car. So we increase water intake. We talked about portion control. Indulge in moderation is the next thing I wanted to say. So there's nothing wrong with you wanting to eat some foods that are not so good for you, right? From time to time. Now, I do that rarely, like every purple moon. I really eat a clean, healthy diet. However, if you're like trying to wing yourself off of like a lot of sweets or eating foods that aren't so good for you, fried foods, greasy foods, processed foods, that sort of stuff, starchy foods, not good starches, heavy starches like potatoes and rice and chips and, all the sweets and stuff. None of that's good for you. But if you're going to eat it, because I know we're like right now we're around the holiday season, there's nothing wrong with that, except you should do it in moderation when you indulge. Do you know what I mean? Like, for example, so right now I'm actually headed over to get me my favorite tea today, but I mentioned earlier that I drink water. Like, I drink water all day on Wednesdays to increase my water intake, right? So that's my way of like just keeping myself clean and hydrated. And I eat hydrating fruits. But on today, I decided, you know what? I'm going to treat myself to a seasonal drink from Starbucks. But I'm going to get something that has a lower sugar count. I don't like the taste of coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm a tea drinker. So for me, I like the honey citrus mint tea, also known as the medicine ball. So I'm going to go get one of those, but I'm going to get the grande size instead of the venti size. Now earlier, I still have the cup here to show you proof. I did treat myself to a latte. I got, oh, my battery is running low. All right, hopefully that didn't cut out too much, but I'll speed it up here because we're about at time anyways. But I got a smaller cup. So this is a tall, you see? So I didn't get the big tall venti. I just got a smaller cup, and then I got less of everything. So like if it came with 3 pumps of something, then I probably just got 1 or 2 pumps of that thing. Do you see what I'm saying? So you can still have the things. You don't have to like deprive yourself of anything that you enjoy, but can you lessen it? Like, so you can go eat the burger, right? But do you have to eat the burger, the fries, the shake, the apple pie, and the soda? Do you know what I mean? That's a lot of calories in one sitting. Okay, if you had, your favorite meal at Thanksgiving and you had, macaroni and cheese and whatever the protein was, and you also wanted to taste some potato salad, and you also wanted the sweet potato pie and the mashed potatoes and all the things. Well, Christmas is around the corner, so then why don't you now just kind of minimize not eating so much of those same kinds of food and eat a healthier version of whatever it is that's going to be on the plate, on the table. You know what I mean? So it's just little small tweaks like that you need to do in order to, first of all, it trains your mind to be like, okay, you're consciously aware, right? Now you're thinking about it. And so the more you put it into practice, the more more of a habitual pattern it will be. And if you can do that for 21 days, like I'm doing this challenge, these things will become a new habit for you. Okay. Um, Also, go organic if you can. Eat more plant-based foods. Okay. I used to be a meat eater years ago, as most of us were, and I thought veganism was not for us brown folk, okay? But I have since learned otherwise, especially since being in the healthcare field and just educating myself. So I weaned away. I have not eaten meat in probably now, I want to say 15 years, okay? I weaned off of the meat, and it wasn't difficult for me to not eat the meat anyways, because truth be told, I just couldn't digest the food well. For example, red meats. I that does not it doesn't digest well for anybody. It like literally takes days in your body to digest, okay, to break down, which is gross. But I never could eat it because it just wouldn't really agree with my stomach. Pork, that was easy for me to give up years, and that might have been now, gosh, maybe 20 years ago. I stopped eating pork, but I weaned myself away from those things, and then I became a pescatarian, and I was a pescatarian for probably I want to say maybe 10 to 12 years. Okay. And now, but I was mostly following maybe the last 5 years of more of a vegetarian diet. So when I got to that point, it was very easy for me to switch to veganism, right? I mean, take yourself through a process, take yourself through a journey, like just transition at your own pace, whatever's comfortable for you. So if you're a meat eater right now, you're just like, oh, no, I can't give up the meat. I can't give up the seafood. Can you just do one day, one meal even in the day, and say, okay, for breakfast, I'm not going to have any meat. Or for lunch or dinner, I'm not going to have any meat. See how that goes. How does that feel? Then maybe another meal, you add another day, you add another meal, and you say, okay, I'm going to eat meat for lunch, but I'm not going to eat meat for breakfast and dinner. And you'll be surprised. It will just become so much easier as you put it into practice. You'll realize you won't really miss the meat as much as you think. I mean, unless you're just a serious, like, die-hard carnivore, okay? Then I guess you will. But I'm good with not eating dead animals, okay? I don't eat any organism at this point. And so, but that's not to say that you can't. Like, in the beginning, I toggled between veganism and vegetarianism, and then veganist, I guess, if that's a word. Okay, I'm making up words here. But, because I was still eating cheese at times. Every now and again, I would have something that was made with an egg, but it wasn't necessarily me just straight up eating eggs. So, until I just decided I'm going to do this 21-day challenge for myself, because for health purposes, and I just wanted to see if I could do it. And it was actually very easy. So that's where I'm at right now. And I've been doing this for over a year now. And funny story is, the very weekend the very last day of the month, let's see, I went vegan June 1st of last year. So I didn't have anything really that week before, maybe I want to say 14 days before, because I did a herbal tea detox, which I could talk about really quickly. If you have not heard of Bobby Price, Dr. Bobby Price, I love his herbal tea detox. I did a 28-day detox. Then I went to veganism, and I just have not looked back. Okay. So, once I cleaned out my body, I just felt like I don't want to put all that crap back in my body again. You know what I mean? And I lost about 12 or 15 pounds during that 28-day period. So it's really effective, and my body just felt so good, and I felt so energized, and my skin was glowing, and my hair was growing, and my nails were stronger. Like everything in my body, it was like my cells just needed my body just needed to be seriously detoxed, right? All right, so I won't get too much on that. The other thing is, make sure you're getting enough rest. You can take power naps throughout the day, meaning like just a quick 15, 30-minute, 20-minute nap. Go sit out in the sunshine, lay your head back, sit in your car, go out to the park or something, lay your head back, just relax. You know what I mean? Read a good book. Listen to something that feels relaxing to you, soft music, a conversation that's not, too much for you to process and not too much for you to think about. Just something relaxing, whatever that means for you. A nice walk like I do, like I just did. And I just want to look at my notes because I wanted to make sure that I did not forget to mention anything that was important. So, but those are the things that I'm doing every single day. And if you can just incorporate at least one thing that I named off of my list today that I just shared with you, one thing every day, just try a new thing from the list, okay? Or do one thing, pick one thing from the list and do that every day for a week. Then reassess and see how that felt for you. So if it's increasing water, do that for a week. Or pick a day of the week. Portion control. Try that for a day. Okay? Or for a week or a couple days of the week. Not eating meat for one meal. Okay? Or for one day. You understand what I'm saying? Just transition slowly but surely, again, at your pace, whatever makes you comfortable. And then just start to add to it and do it more and more and more until it becomes just a natural, easy process. Something you don't even have to think twice about. All right? And when you do this, what you'll find is by incorporating these very small percentage of, just a small percentage of these things will really move the needle. And you're going to find that you're going to have peak performance, but you're going to have a boost of energy, and you're going to boost both your personal and your professional productivity. Like, you're going to feel so much better. Okay, so give it a try. Let me know what it is you do try. Let me know in the comments what you actually have done, what you are doing to, again, operate from a higher level of awareness, but also just making sure you're keeping your tempo in check, because your mind, your body, and your soul, you are the asset. And if you want to build wealth and be around for, God willing, a long time, we're talking prosperity, right? Building your prosperity, building your wealth, having an abundant life, living your first class life. If that's the life you want, it doesn't start with money. It starts with your health. Health is your wealth. And that's all I have for you today on today's Daily Dose of Vitamin D3. Thank you so much for tuning in and or for watching the replay. I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video with others who need to hear this message. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.